Good afternoon, and for some of you, it might be morning or even evening, depending on which time zone you're joining us from today. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to our virtual grand tour of Bulgaria. I'm Bonnie Hinchberger, co-founder of Broad Escapes Tours for Women. For those of you who are unfamiliar with us, we are a 100% Canadian owned and operated tour operator, licensed under Ellison Travel and Tours. We have 2 offices in Ontario and 1 office in Vancouver, British Columbia. For more than a decade, we have been enriching the lives of women through travel. We've connected solo travelers and have created many long-lasting friendships and made lifelong memories along the way. With our grassroots beginnings, we have an authentic approach to tourism, offering community-based experiences in a responsible and meaningful way. Our tours are small in size, but big in experiences, and all offer women to travel in a safe, fun, and welcoming environment. Each of our tours is led by a Broad Escapes tour manager from Canada and local guides at destination. With me today is Liz Chase, fellow colleague and tour manager from our Vancouver office. Some of you may know Liz from previous Broad Escapes journeys. We're delighted to have Liz on our team. Her passion for travel, years of guiding experience, and her genuine caring personality ensure that those who travel with her will have an enjoyable and memorable journey. So I'm happy to say that Liz will be leading our tour to Bulgaria in 2022. So I'm going to hand over the presentation to Liz, and she will give you a little intro into what you can expect from our Bulgaria tour.
Thank you, Bonnie. Welcome all. It's great to finally be here after so long of dreaming of travel, hoping to travel, and now finally getting to actually do it. Our presentation today will follow in the footsteps of our tailor-made, uniquely curated for BU travelers tour of Bulgaria. I'm really excited about our itinerary and looking forward to sharing this Eastern European gem with you. I have a good friend from Bulgaria, and when I showed her our tour plans, she very excitedly said, "You will visit the most remarkable places and enjoy the best of Bulgaria." So from one local to another, I'd like to introduce you to Venlin, our in-country tour representative. He will take us on a virtual tour of Bulgaria today, highlighting the places we will go, the wonderful sights and amazing things we will see, and explore the special cultural traditions that we'll experience together. Welcome, Venlin.
Hello, everyone. I extend my warmest greetings to you from Sofia, the capital of Bulgaria. My name is Venelin Popov, and it's my pleasure to meet you all and present this special tour of Bulgaria for 2022, customized for Broad Escapes. I also want to thank Bonnie for this opportunity and for the introduction. So let's begin. A few words about the country in the beginning. Bulgaria is still a highly underrated country, sadly, relatively unknown and still underappreciated. But the country has a lot to offer to the curious traveler. A crossroads of civilizations, it offers a fascinating story. Because of its strategic position on the crossroads between Europe and Asia, Bulgaria sits on layers of history. Winston Churchill once said about the Balkan countries that they have too much history for their own good, which is partly right for Bulgaria as well. Beginning with an unknown culture that produced the oldest gold treasure in Europe, which we will visit in Varna, through the Thracian tribes that lived on these lands, parallel with the ancient Greeks, followed by the Romans, the Slavic warriors, the Proto-Bulgarians that came from Asia, the Ottoman Pashas, which ruled these lands for over 500 years, up until the Cold War communists, all of them left their marks here. So a lot of them, as we can see. Remains of these cultures are spread through the whole area of the country. So for the curious traveler, can expect a lot from this tour. We can see here a nice map of the country. Some of the stops of our tour we marked in this map in pink color. We chose the color pink not because of the fact that this tour is for women's only, but because of the color of the Damascena rose that we saw in the previous slide. So you can see here Sofia, the capital, Plovdiv, the second largest city, Burgas and Varna on the Black Sea coast, and Veliko Trnovo. We will make, so to say, a full circle of the country. Bulgaria has a very diverse topography. We have the Black Sea coast, approximately 360 kilometers. Oh, sorry, I should have said it in miles. Then we have the Nubian and the Thracian plains over here, and then a variety of mountain ridges, the Balkan mountain, which divides the country into two parts, northern and southern. And then we have this cluster of three mountains over here. About our journey in particular, we will begin in Sofia, the capital and largest city, and we will end here as well. From here, we will travel by private bus in order to reach even the remotest mountain villages. We will visit the Rila and Pirin mountains, which hides deep in their forests one of the most beautiful monasteries on the whole Balkan Peninsula. Then we will enjoy the natural hot mineral water of the spa resorts, and we will hike in the National Park of Pirin. We will take a ride with the narrow gauge train through the Rhodope Mountains towards Plovdiv, located here in the Thracian plain. From here, we will participate in the annual Rose Festival in the Valley of the Roses in the small town of Karlov. From here, we will continue towards the Black Sea coast. We will visit the ancient town of Nesebar. We will visit Varna, the largest city on the Bulgarian Black Sea coast. And from here, we will visit the medieval capital of the second Bulgarian kingdom, Veliko Trnovo. During our journey, we will meet and support local communities, sample the Bulgarian wine and brandy, enjoy the Balkan food. I say Balkan because the Bulgarian cuisine is highly influenced by the Greek and Turkish one. This itinerary we designed especially so that our guests have also enough time to explore the sites also on their own. So we will continue with a few words about the location of Bulgaria in Europe. We are located in the southeast part of Europe, in the eastern end of the Balkan Peninsula. Bulgaria is the largest country on the Balkan Peninsula. Our neighbors are to the east, the Black Sea, to the north, Romania, while the Danube River builds or forms the natural border with Romania. Then to the west, we have the Republic of Serbia and North Macedonia. And to the south, we have Greece and Turkey. Compared to North America, Bulgaria is a small country, a very small country, with a total area of approximately 43,000 miles, which makes it as big as Cuba, while the total population is slightly less than 7 million, which makes it about an average Chinese city. The country is part of the European Union since 2007. So our journey begins and ends in Sofia. And now I will mark some of the highlights of the tours. On the second day, we will drive deep into the mountains south of Sofia, where we will reach the Rila Monastery, the largest Orthodox monastery in Bulgaria, and definitely the most beautiful one. This monastery is located at high in the mountains at an elevation of approximately 1,100 meters. The monastery we see here from this drone picture of ours, from the outside is built like a fortress to protect itself. We have to imagine this monastery was first built in the 10th century. In the inside, the monastery is a spiritual sanctuary. We will visit the main church, pictured over here, with beautiful symbolic wall paintings and murals, which will be explained in detail from the inside and from the outside. This is still a completely functioning monastery, so we will learn more about the lifestyle of the monks. We will visit one monastic cell. Also, we will take a look inside the museum, which houses precious artifacts. In the end, we will sample some of the, let's say, monastery culinary dishes for lunch, some local specialties. After this visit, we will continue towards the small mountain village of Doborsko. Approximately 1/3 of the territory of Bulgaria are mountains and hills. This is why I'm repeating myself so much, saying mountains, mountains, and so on. So here we will experience the rich folklore traditions for which Bulgaria is famous for. We will meet the singing and dancing grandmothers of Doborsko. These are 10 ladies that will welcome us dressed in the typical, for this region, folklore costumes, and they will present to us the regional folkloric dances and songs. In the end, we will sample the local high percentage water called rakia, a sort of a fruit brandy, and we will taste some homemade pastry. We will also visit this church from the 17th century. This is also where the ladies perform their dances. Now, this church is interesting again for its wall murals. This is the only church in Bulgaria where we have women depicted as saints, painted as saints, which is highly unusual, we know all, for Christianity in general, and especially for the Orthodox Christianity. And in the end, we will end this beautiful day by enjoying the spa facilities of this mountain spa hotel, equipped with hot mineral water. So Bulgaria is a European leader in mineral water resources. This is also an unknown fact. And this hotel is a perfect example. So everything, including the water in the rooms, is natural mineral water. So no matter what the temperature is outside, we can use the full facilities of the spa. From here, we will explore the National Park of Pirin, also one site protected of UNESCO. Now, this is not a cultural, but a natural UNESCO site. We will make the, I say, easy hike, because it's not it's easy hike, up to the Banderishki Lakes. This is a formation of glacial lakes. Our target for the day is the lake called the Eye. On our way, we will enjoy the beautiful, the stunning nature, and we will visit the oldest tree in Bulgaria called the Baikushev pine, and this tree is dated, it's more than 1,300 years old, so a really old tree. We will enjoy a lunch with traditional specialties in one of the mountain chalets. And then we have again the afternoon free to enjoy the spa facilities of the hotel. On the next day, we will step off the bus and we will move into a train for a train ride, but not any train. This is the only narrow gauge train line in Bulgaria. We will board the train in Bansko. Bansko is Bulgaria's biggest ski resort. And from here, we will travel up into the mountains until we reach the highest train station on the Balkan Peninsula, not only in Bulgaria, on the Balkan Peninsula, which is called Avramovo. Now, as we can see from the picture, we cannot expect a fast or a luxurious train. It's actually quite the opposite. It's a very slow train because of the terrain. We are climbing all the way until Avramovo. But this is a positive for us, but because as this is a mountain line, we can enjoy the stunning nature, the views, while maybe enjoying a glass of wine for the ones that want it, of course. And while we are riding with this train, we'll learn more about the so-called Pomak people. These are Bulgarian-speaking Muslims that inhabit this mountain region. Now, this is not a touristic train. This is a train that these people, the Pomaks, they use every day to reach the nearby towns from their villages to sell their goods on the local market. So this line is their only transportation, meaning due to the mountainous terrain. So really a great experience. When we stop on them, when we exit the train in Avramovo, we will enjoy a nice picnic outdoors, and then we will continue towards Plovdiv with the bus. And we have one more interesting stop for you, and we don't want to tell what it is, but you will learn what the connection is between the Harry Potter movies, Mick Jagger and the British royal court while visiting the small village of Kostandovo on our way to Plovdiv. Okay. Our next home for the next 3 days is Plovdiv, Bulgaria's most enjoyable city. With a history dating back centuries before Christ, it is the oldest continuously inhabited settlement in Europe. In the 4th century BC, the city was called Philippopolis, which means the city of Plovdiv. This was the city of Philip. This was the father of Alexander the Great. Centuries later, the Roman Emperor Trajan built this 5,000 seats theater. This was 2,000 years ago, approximately. Today, this theater is considered to be one of the best preserved Roman theaters in Europe. The stage wall that we see over here is mostly intact. The stony seats are etched with their original numbers still. We have to imagine even gladiator fights were observed here. The Romans named the city Trimontium, which means the city on 3 hills. We will also visit other Roman remains like the Odeon and the part of the Roman stadium that is now uncovered that offered seating for up to 30,000 spectators. Okay, so now we said that the city was built on different hills. On one of these hills called Rahat Tepe, Tepe comes from the Ottoman word Tepe for a hill, the old town of the city is located. It's a showcase of delightful buildings from the 18th and 19th century, a time when the ruling Ottoman Empire was in decline and Bulgarian cultural pride was on the rise. This is the period we Bulgarians call the Bulgarian National Revival period, or simply the Bulgarian Renaissance. We will visit the so-called symmetric houses. Some examples of them we see here. In one of them, the Ethnographic Museum is housed. These houses were built by rich merchants who traded their goods in all of Europe from Stockholm to Venice. In 2019, Plovdiv was chosen to be European Capital of Culture. As part of this initiative, the Kapana Creative District was revived. The Kapana translated means the mousetrap. This district is a place where our participants can enjoy themselves with numerous bars, craft beer shops, artisan galleries, small restaurants, and open-air stages where young musicians can perform. Plovdiv also has one of the longest pedestrian streets in Bulgaria, a great place to spend your free evenings and to explore on your own. So we will also explore the surrounding areas around the city. This region is a distinctive wine region called the Thracian Valley. For more than 5,000 years, wine was produced here. And we will learn more about the Bulgarian wine sorts, the typical ones, Mavrut and Rubin, while visiting a selected winery, Villa Justina. It's a whole estate where we will also enjoy lunch with a nice wine taste. We will also make our life sweeter by visiting a family-owned chocolate manufactory where we will learn how cacao beans transform into chocolate and, of course, taste them. Sorry. And then, in the beginning of the presentation, I mentioned that Bulgaria is still relatively unknown, but there is one thing that Bulgaria is famous for, and this is the rose oil. One of the highlights of our trip is the participation in the annual Rose Festival. We have to imagine there are over 150 different species of roses known in the world, but only 2 of them are suitable for extracting the precious rose oil. And these are called the Damascena and Alba roses. We see on the left picture here, the Damascena rose, which has this wonderful pink color, while the Alba rose has a white color. These plants were first brought to our lands by the Ottomans from Damascus. Soon it was discovered that the region known today as the Valley of the Roses offers the perfect conditions for these plants to flourish. This is due to, you will learn why the region is so perfect during the tour. It's, of course, due to the climatic and earthly conditions, but also because of the abundance of natural mineral water in the ground. And We are here just in time for the rose harvest. First, we will visit the vast rose fields where we will participate in the rose picking ritual. The pellets are to be hand-picked only in the early morning before the sun evaporates the essential oils. While the fields smell sweet, the workers need to work very fast. For every gram of rose oil distilled, 27,000 roses must be picked. So this is approximately 4.5 tons of rose pellets in order to extract 1 kilogram of the rose oil. We will observe the distillation process by which the rose oil is extracted. During the festival in Karlovo, this happens in the small town of Karlovo, located on the southern ridge of the Balkan Mountains. So again, a beautiful scenery. There will be lots of dances, songs, folklore music, tasting of roast products like rose jam and rose liquor. And we will, of course, observe the parade. We will meet the new queen of the roses. Her crown will not be of gold, but of flowers. And then, after a nice lunch, we will participate in a special workshop for producing essential soaps. We will then continue towards the south coast of the Bulgarian Sea to Burgas, where we will be accommodated at a small boutique hotel located right on the seashore. From Burgas, we will visit the ancient town of Nesebar, also a UNESCO site. It's situated on a rocky peninsula surrounded by the sea. We can see here on this picture. This more than 3,000 years old settlement was originally a Thracian city called Menembria. It then became a Greek colony. We will visit the remains from the Hellenistic period, the Acropolis, the Temple of Apollo, and the Thracian fortifications. We will enjoy a lunch here at one of the nicest restaurants with fish from the Black Sea, and you will have time to explore this magnificent small town. We will then reach Varna, Bulgaria's third largest city and maritime capital. Varna is one of the most interesting towns on the Black Sea. It's a combination of a port city, a naval base, and the seaside resorts. Two of the most famous Bulgarian sea resorts, Golden Sands and Constantin and Elena, are only 10 minutes away from the downtown. We will be accommodated at a small boutique hotel located near the sea garden and the beaches, also the promenade street. From here, we can explore the central area on foot even. We will visit the Cathedral of the Holy Virgin, we see over here. Then we will visit the remains of the Roman Thermas, one of the best preserved in Europe. We will also visit the Archaeological Museum, where, as I mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, the oldest processed gold in Europe is displayed. This gold was examined and dated 4,600 to 4,200 years BC. We know we have very few information about this civilization or culture, but we know they were highly advanced. From Varna, we will visit the Palace of Baučić and its botanical garden. Located next to the sea, this small palace was the summer residence of the Roman Queen Maria. This was really a special place for her, as this was the place she fell in love, not with her husband, but with her exotic lover. She had a strict requirement for the construction of the building not to harm the natural environment, but rather to complement its beauty. And we will be lucky to visit the botanical garden in the end of spring, in the beginning of the summer season. So we will be able to enjoy a variety of flowers and plants. This botanical garden has the second largest collection of cactus plants in Europe after the Botanical Garden of Monaco. Then our next stop will be Bulgaria's medieval capital, Veliko Târnovo. Now, Veliko Târnovo is really a dramatically set city located on the banks of the river Yantra. The town is shaped like a natural amphitheater, more vertical than horizontal. We see here an example of this type of architecture. The architecture is a mixture of modern, blocky construction and the traditional Bulgarian homes, again from the revival period, 18th and 19th century. We will visit the ruins of the medieval Tsarevets fortress, a reminder of the city's importance 800 years ago. We will also visit the Samovodska Chershia. This is the so-called Craft Street in Veliko Târnovo. We see here pictures of it, where we can observe craftsmen in action, wood carvers, icon painters. We see here a silversmith to the left, also a clay craftsman and others. And for the best experience possible, we will be accommodated only in rooms overlooking the Tsarevets fortress, which in the evening is beautifully lit up. We continue our way towards Sofia, the capital, but not before meeting with the locals at the traditional mountain village of Golami Zvor, which means great well translated. As you can see in this picture, this is how we are going to be met and greeted by the local grandmothers, I would say, in this case as well. We see here Irina, which is the former mayor of the village, and Penka, which worked at one of the tobacco factories. Bulgaria was a huge exporter of tobacco back in the communist era. We will take a seat in the monastic school, in the schoolroom of the monastic school from the 19th century. And in the end, we will enjoy a large picnic with tastings of variety of homemade pastry, from egg and cheese to pumpkin to spinach one, all prepared by the different locals here, as well as a grill picnic. We will taste the local brandy, one made from plums and another one made from apples. This is me here with the two ladies. Always a great time to visit them. And again, here we see two of the ladies that prepare the different pastries. Now, one important for me thing, by this visit, we are not only helping the locals financially, of course, supporting them, but a portion of the entrance fees in order to use the facility and the monastic school, a part of this of the money for this goes in a fund to restaurate or to repair the roof of the local church. So while visiting them, we are also doing something good for the church. And in the end, our journey will finish in Sofia, from where I'm speaking to you now. Sofia is by far the only metropole city in Bulgaria, with a total population with approximately 1.5 million people. Although Bulgaria is one of the poorest countries in the European Union, you won't feel this while strolling the beautiful, vibrant boulevards. We will be here again accommodated at a perfectly situated hotel, right on the pedestrian street, Vitusha, from where we can explore the whole of the city. The history of Sofia. Sofia is named after the Saint Sophia, or the Holy Sophia, shown here in this statue located in the administrative center of the town, of the city. But Sofia is also a very green city with a lot of parks and gardens where you can spend your free time. Now, the history of the city really starts with the Romans. They built the fortified city here in order to protect the trading routes via militaris, the first roads. They chose this location due to the close proximity of the Vitusha mountain to the city, to the settlement. Now, Sofia is one of the few European capitals that have such a high mountain so close to it, so close to the city. And this is why they chose it, the abundance of fresh water. And also, we should not forget the mineral wealth that are still found in the central area of Sofia. We know that the Romans, they loved their baths. They also used the warm nature of water for heating during the winter. We will visit the remains of the Roman city, which was then called Serdica, the Alexander Nevsky Cathedral, which is pictured here, by far the biggest church and cathedral in Bulgaria in Neo-Byzantine style. It was built after the liberation of Bulgaria from the Ottoman Empire to honor the fallen Russian soldiers that gave their lives not only for the liberation, but mainly because of this. Also, the oldest building in Sofia, the Roman Rotunda, we will visit, which is approximately 1,500 years old. We see here examples also of other architecture. The Sofia's trams, which are of different types of shapes, also unique for the city. And we see here the main pedestrian street, Vitusha, which is extremely close to the hotel where we will be accommodated. So by this, our journey ends with the capital. In the end, I would like to emphasize that our company is putting a lot of effort where possible to work with family-owned businesses like ours also. We emphasize on sustainable and responsible tourism. And by participating in this tour, you are really helping the local communities, the local people, and supporting them. Maybe a few words about the hotels. They are perfectly selected for this tour. Where we could, we worked and selected family-owned small hotels to support them again, but the location of all of the hotels is excellent. And in the end, I hope that you like the presentation. I'm sure that all of you have noticed that I am not doing such presentations every day, so I am a bit nervous. Please excuse that. But I really want to invite you to visit this small land, Bulgaria, which really has a lot to offer. You will meet beautiful people, friendly people. You will meet not only the largest cities, but also small villages, local communities. Again, I'm saying this, maybe I'm repeating myself. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, Bonnie, again. And I hope to see you, some of you, here in Bulgaria.
I can hardly wait to go to Bulgaria in May. Thank you, Venlin. He was not able to join us live today because of time zone challenges, but I really want to thank him for drawing us virtually into his wonderful country. And it's true, Bulgaria may be small, but what we have planned, especially for you, is grand. With the many cultural experiences and unique interactions with locals we've included in the Broad Escapes tour, the country's natural beauty and its fascinating history revealed in its interesting architecture and charming old towns, Bulgaria really is not to be missed. And especially we want to get there before everybody else puts it on their bucket list. And our tours also, what makes them even better is the camaraderie, the shared times together, the laughter that we all enjoy with a great group of traveling women. So bring your bathing suit, sounds like maybe even your dancing shoes, and come join us in Bulgaria. And now we're just going to cover a few tour details.
Thanks, Liz, and thanks to Venelin in a virtual way. I hope you enjoyed the presentation here to Bulgaria. I'm just going to tell you a few details about this itinerary and this tour. First of all, the dates are May 22nd to June 3rd. It's a 13-day tour. It is, we'll have a maximum of only 16 travelers. We really try to limit the number of travelers on our tours so that you get that intimate tour and you get to really know the people that you're traveling with as well. The price point on this, I just want to emphasize, is really good. Like both Liz and Venelin were saying, it's really an undiscovered country right now, and it won't be that way for long. So if you compare it to other European destinations, I think you'll see the price point is excellent. It's $3,950 for a 13-day tour. So that's in Canadian funds. We also offer a single supplement for those who want to travel and stay in their own room. It's $750. And we have other solo travel options for those who are joining us as solo travelers. We do offer a roommate matching program, and we can match you up with another traveler to share a room, and the cost of your tour, you can pay the twin price then. And I do, space is limited. Like I said, there's only 16 travelers on this trip, and we have been selling the tour for a couple of weeks now. So yeah, now for booking, if you'd like to book, we would love to have you join us, of course. You can go onto our website. It's broadescapes.com. And if you just go into the Bulgaria tour, you'll find the booking form there, and you can just fill that out online, and then one of our representatives will be contacting you directly. If you have questions, you can give us a call, 1-800-265-7022, or send us an email at info@broadescapes.com. And I just wanted to touch base a little bit about traveling with peace of mind. Like I had mentioned in our in the opening, our tours are all escorted from Canada. So we do have a tour manager from Canada with you at all times. But we also in our office have our own health and safety team. So we have 24-hour health and safety team there, questions if we need questions answered. We have actually we also have partnership with a teledoctor as well if we need that while traveling. So it gives you that extra peace of mind when you're traveling. And we've also been designated as a safe travel with the safe travel designation for all of our tours. One thing I should mention is on all of our tours, you are required to have a fully vaccination certificate in order to travel. And now we're just going to open it up to question and answer. So if anyone has any questions, you can put those in the chat box, and Liz and I will come on and answer all the questions. If we don't get to all of the questions, we will certainly get back to you directly.
Okay, we've got a question coming in. What is expected for tipping? Should we use Bulgarian lev or euro?
The euro would be the currency that you would use for the tipping.
Okay, great. And will Broad Escapes arrange my flights to meet the group?
Yes, definitely. We designate a group flight, and the majority of people usually travel in on our designated flight, and our representatives, our travel agents can certainly help you with all of the flight arrangements. So once you book the tour, then we will advise you what the designated flight is. And if you can't travel on the designated flight or choose not to, like if you want to go earlier or later, that's fine too. Then we can make arrangements to meet you at destination.
Okay, great. Do Canadians need a visa to travel to Bulgaria?
No, no visas required, just your Canadian passport that's valid up to 3 months beyond the date.
Okay, great. And someone also asked what currency is used in Bulgaria, which I think was kind of answered already, but
as Bonnie mentioned, it's the euro that's used in Bulgaria. So
okay.
To bring.
Okay, and just to everyone listening, we have time for one more question. So if anyone has any questions, we can ask. I think that's everything. I'll hand it back to you guys.
Okay, well, I would just like to say we'd love to have you join us for Bulgaria. And Liz, do you have any closing comments there?
Yeah, just really looking forward to this tour and having you join us there. And we're going to have a lot of fun. And it's an amazing place. So I think you'll find it's a really fascinating tour.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for joining us, and we hope to see you in Bulgaria.
See you then.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye all.